It doesn't make any sense. So, and then you guys are gonna have to tell me, what does 100% mean? And if it's not specified in there, if there's not a code pointed to it, I mean, it's cut and dry.
Yeah, simple terms, the way we've always promoted it and told it was 7 years, 100%. Just like commercial is 3 years, 100%. And, you know, the residential doesn't apply because that's the first 75,000. Those are all the simple terms of it. We've never gotten into that because it's just, you know, when he brought it up, I had to go back to our urban renewal plan to read it. And yes, it simply states the 100% for 7 years. And then when it gives the explanation for exemption, it says 100% of the actual value added by the improvements. Okay, so that's still gray. That's still gray. But then when you go to the state code, which I think Jill has probably referenced and probably told you about, was there's the definition of actual value added by the improvements. Means the actual value added as of the first year for which the exemption was received. So that's the clarification. That was not in our plans, or that wording was not in our plans. And keep in mind, our urban renewal plan was written by attorneys. Dorsey and Whitney did our plan for us.
Also in the state code, it says the cities have the right to choose how much they give and how long. It states that she only printed off one page of 5 or 6 that's in the code because I read it all. Also, in here, there's a lot of inconsistencies with her replies, which is why I know you guys are city, they're county, and there's kind of a separation of the two, but also you kind of have to work together. You know, and then she also talks about the equalization order, which I just looked up on the state website from the Iowa State of Revenue, and it says 0. So, and that's of 2024, 2021, September 24. The updated one says 0 as well. So, I mean, it's just, all around it makes no sense. There's no clarification. There's no clear answers, in my opinion. So this is an issue that I'm not gonna back off of until I get a certified answer. And now I have to pay money to hire a lawyer to figure out what this all means, because it's not clear. And I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I don't know if, yeah, so I know what our stuff is. I mean, I don't know what kind of answers. You said you're gonna go to the supervisors too. I don't know what kind of answers you'll get up there. I don't know. But maybe they can give clarification. I mean, she can probably speak towards the state codes.
Well, you should be able to as well, I think,
Well,
the city.
we don't set assessments and we don't collect taxes.
Yeah, I know that.
And that's what this issue is.
No, this issue is you're offering something
No.
that you can't offer.
No, it's not.
Then paint it a clearer picture then.
When you say though,
we are
we
going
can set the
forward.
time
We
or
are.
the amount, we did the 7 years and the 100%.
So
So we could have gone 5 years and 80%, I mean, right? Because we can't
correct,
go-
yes, yeah. So in your literature, that's what it says, that's what you sold to builders, and that's what's on our builder's agreement. And so then, in turn, you're trying to turn around and say, oh, no, we can tax you based on this.
Well, I'm still confused. about
Higher
this
value.
builder's agreement. Is that just the years 8, 9, and 10 that we offered and above the 7 that we do?
No, this is just one I showed you. I have builder's agreement for all of them, and they all say the same thing about the 7 years, 100%.
Is that was the question?
But the only agreement there is no agreements for years 1 through 7. There's nothing anybody needs to sign.
That was just
That's
our,
an automatic thing.
and that was
It's by an
match for his tax
application.
credits, correct?
It's by an application that's given to the builder to fill out, filled out by code enforcement, and that form is taken to the assessor.
The tax credits are separate. It says that also in the code, that it's up to the individual builder to bring their taxes.
Yeah, and the only other
Credit
thing
assessment.
that there is when the builders choose to apply for the workforce housing credits, you know, there is a resolution that we do, that they can submit with their application, showing that, hey, we're given 7-year 100%. And it gives a number in there, an estimate of taxes or whatever. But yeah, so the only thing that is written, like what Adam has, is if a builder had come and asked for the 3 additional years of city taxes, that's the documentation. But like I said, in there, it does say 100% for 7 years. It's that, just that plain. Doesn't go into the details of what is the value, what's the meaning of the value, what happens if values go up. That, all that stuff's not explained in there.
And I've paid taxes in Plymouth County for 16 years on real estate that I've owned. I'm not trying to dodge taxes by any means, and I don't, but when a city gives you an agreement and you plan on that, kind of like you have locked in interest rates at the bank. They can't go back and change those once you have an agreement.
But at the time of that agreement, you had an assessment, and it was 100% exempt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then somebody other than the city
Mm-hmm.
raised your assessment
Yes,
that we had no control over,
yes,
okay? And then that other entity also that we have no control over is the one collecting those taxes in either the same way or a different way
yeah.
from what they've done in the past. So we as a city don't have control over that. That's the problem that we have.
Okay, so then where, by the city's standpoint or the county's standpoint, does 100% in the wording of this contract not apply?
Once again, when the agreement.
There's no
was-
sliding scale.
When the agreement with you was made, it was 100% exempt because the building was worth, what, $2 million?
$2.5 million.
$2.5 million,
Yep.
okay. That same building 5 years later, someone that we don't have control over says, this building is now worth 2.9 million, or whatever the number would be. That's not something we can control.
So you guys are saying you don't want anything to do with this, basically? You gave me agreement that you're not going to stand behind. And 100%, I mean, you got to be careful like how you go about this, because it's, I mean, this comes back on you guys. You're selling a lie then.
Well, no, I would not say that.
Okay, then it's a cheap way to make easy money. It's a loophole. We'll call it a loophole
Okay.
But
Well,
I don't know, I mean, you
that nobody knew about until we sit here and I bring this up. And like, I mean, you're the city attorney. It's like,
right, this is the I believe this is a county issue.
county issue. All right.
And I would like to hear their response on that. And so
I've got an email here which doesn't make any sense if you all would like a copy of it.
I mean, I'll read it if you do.
I'll print off copies. Yeah.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you guys. Yep. And ladies.
Any other citizens? Moving on, thumbs up award. Brad, I'll start with you.
I'm gonna pass.
I don't have anything to do.
Clark?
I worked tailgate at the Bulldog game the other night. I was in the background, just quite frankly, handling the buns, so I didn't really. But I stood there and I listened to every kid, just about without exception, every kid, every parent that walked up there said, "Thank you, please. Thank you, please." I was really impressed. I was really, really impressed.
There's good in the world.
There's good in the world. Yeah, so I was very happy about that. I thought it was very good, almost without exception.
Very nice. I want to give thumbs up to Mark Gall and his work on his review this past week for the 20-year development plan, where we met and went over where we've gone in a year and where we're heading. I appreciated that. I think it was a productive meeting and it was well done. Thank you, Mark. And then thanks to Chief Shipper for the pancake feed. Always a fun time. Always well attended, I hope. And I figured out where you put your fire trucks during that time. So, thank you.
Yeah, I would give a thumbs up to Josh from Premier Networking. He gave a really informative and helpful lunch and learn yesterday the chamber threw. Guess my passwords aren't as good as I thought they were. And then also to the Friends of the Library and all the volunteers that do the outreach programs to to the daycares and such like that. We have a lot of folks, not just employees, but Shirley and the staff, that we have a really good library and they do a lot of good work that people don't even realize.
All right, moving on, consent items. All items listed under consent agenda will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on those items unless a request is made prior to the time the council votes on the motion. Today we have 6. The approval of October 1st, 2024 regular meeting minutes and October 8th, 2024 special meeting minutes. List of bills for period ending 10/11/24. Monthly financial statement for September 2024. Renewal of liquor license to the Red Shed. Request to close streets, Christmas in hometown Lamar's, and urban revitalization tax exemption requests. Do we have any those that you want to quote or discuss before we vote? Closed streets are exactly what they were last year? Everything's the same?
Yep. Motion to approve consent items 1 through 6.
Have a motion, do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried. Moving on, action item. Today we have 1. The Bolton and Menk Incorporated Services Agreement, Wastewater Combined Facility Design. Attached is an agreement with Bolton and Menk Incorporated to provide design and bid phase services for the construction of the wastewater combined facility. The project includes the expansion of the existing industrial wastewater treatment facility located about 2 miles west of Lamar's to treat all industrial and municipal wastewater. The treatment process will be modified to include nitrogen and phosphorus removal to comply with the new DNR nutrient reduction requirements. A detailed project description is attached. The administration recommends the council approval. The financial impact, the $3,340,000 cost will be shared between the City of Lamar's, Wells, and Kemp's. Any more on that, Jason?
And just so that you clarify that financial stuff, yes, that's anticipated, but those agreements need to be agreed upon yet.
Okay.
So,
Any other questions?
What are the anticipated breakdowns, equal thirds, or is that something that's still
No,
being
it's by
worked out?
percentage, it's a percentage.
Okay.
based off of
Usage.
load.
Yeah,
They'll be
load, yeah.
get into the plan.
Historical usage? I mean, is it going forward?
And anticipated.
And projected.
Okay.
I mean, both, but it's based on past and projections,
Got it.
which is all they can do.
All right, seek a motion.
Motion to approve an agreement for professional services wastewater combined facility design with Bolton and Menk Inc. with a not-to-exceed fee of $3.34 million.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried.
Not to exceed, but I guarantee they spend every dollar.
Moving on to discussion. Jason,
I'd like to pass. I don't have anything specific to update on. Our only active bid project going is airport. And plywood, I guess, I would say. Still, those two are still open. And just keep in mind, right now the contractor is finishing up. It looked like they're ready to pour the last section of 11th Street Southeast today. Once they're done, they're going to move to Business Highway 75 and start systematically repairing all those pop outs and stuff. So maybe next week.
okay.
Can we take blocks at a time?
I think we're going to, yeah.
pretty good stretches at a time.
Yeah, starting on the.
What about the centers, because they're dead center in the middle? If you look at the, those manholes, they're
Yeah, I
all
don't know how
busted.
they're gonna break. I just know that they're gonna start at the Highway 3.
Bob's
On
driving.
the west side, start there.
And then, okay, yeah. What he's repaired so far is good, correct?
Yeah, I haven't seen any of that break up.
I haven't either, but I'm not 100% sure I'm fully remembering all of the
Yeah.
repairs. But I think we need to maybe look at those that he did a couple of years ago and ensure that they're holding up before we get too gung-ho. I think he did fantastic work, but I don't want to go from,
Yeah, and keep in mind, as how many years have gone by now that we've made repairs to that thing. It started out, not all repairs were made equally, all the same. Last year was the time we decided to go full depth on them. Okay, so those, to your concerns about how are they holding up, those should have no issues whatsoever. I know the first year we started doing it, we simply went in and replaced the overlay thickness, maybe repaired a little bit of the subgrade, and in subgrade I mean by the old asphalt road. I mean, so all the repairs over the years have been of different
I follow what you're saying.
severities, so, you know, whether or not the one that we did 3 years ago is gonna hold up longer than the full depth ones, I doubt, but we'll see.
Well,
Go ahead.
I would suggest moving forward that all of them are done. Full depth, complete. Even if we can only get half of them done at a time, I don't care. They're either done right or they're not done at all.
Yeah, going forward, they're gonna be done this way we did last year, the full
Okay,
depth.
that's definitely my,
Yeah, that was my question.
And we're also gonna need to have a discussion at some point. I don't know if it was brought up at the plan update meeting that we had, but, you know, if we're looking at, this is gonna take, 10 years to.
somehow expedited is what
By
you're
the-
saying.
Yeah, by the time we're done making repairs, we're gonna have a new street there. So are we better off making it a larger project and going in there and replacing the whole thing?
Sure. I don't suppose there'd be any money available for that, correct?
I doubt we would be able to go back, because that was an STBG project. I doubt going back to do an STBG project on
On a
a
past
recent
one?
one.
On a past
I don't think they would look too highly on it.
Uh-oh.
And I'm guessing that it's going to exceed, because there's only so much of that money that's available to everybody that applies to
And then
that.
it's dished out 4 years in the future and all that stuff.
Yeah, so we're at, right now, the next time we apply, we're looking at 2030 projects,
Okay.
so.
Is 7th Street gonna be an overlay or a complete tear out?
7th Street.
So,
Or Avenue?
Avenue, 7th Avenue is he's up to pick up K-49.
Oh, that one, the one that's already been approved?
Right.
Yeah, that's a complete tear out removal
Good.
of just the center, because the curb and gutters aren't that bad.
Right.
It's just the center, 20-some feet, that's a complete removal.
Okay.
I'd rather not do any more overlays.
I would agree. Except Green-
Business owners along,
Except Greenwood Avenue, I think. That one would be a good blacktop overlay. So,
business owners of all, business
Street
owners.
Northwest.
I mean, that brings up a good point, though. I mean,
thank you.
the overlays, PCC overlays might be better served on the less heavily traveled streets
Residential.
where you don't have truck traffic and, you just have residential.
That's why Highway 3, as much as I really like Highway 3 right now, I can't, blacktop, I just don't see it holding up, but whatever, that's the DOT and they're really smart, so.
Business 75, all the business owners are gonna be made aware that that project is starting, or
We typically haven't.
somehow, I might not be a bad thing to let them know that we're,
Surprise.
yeah, I mean, particularly along, when you're looking at Bob's and the C-store, that whole area right there where we're talking about, that's, anyway. I mean, I know, they know it's coming, they just don't necessarily know when, so.
Anything else, Jason?
No,
Okay. Did Joe leave you any notes, Jen?
Nope,
We're all good that way?
we're all good.
All right. Mark, do you have anything else?
Just confirmation, I reached out and the Lamar's Rec Trail is open, the entirety of it. It's all been repaired, so.
Reminder that the city twig, branch, and grass drop-off site will remain open through November, weather permitting. Open Wednesday 1 to 6, but in November, we will go from 1 to 5, and Saturday 9 to 4. The site will be monitored by staff. And then everyone's favorite odd even parking ordinance is in effect from November 1 to April 1. Residents must park on the odd numbered side of the street where house numbers are odd on odd calendar days and even numbered sides of the street on even calendar days. The calendar day begins at 6 p.m. the previous day and ends at 6 p.m. the day of. Gort?
Chief, you got anything, how you handle that? Can you
Yeah.
kind of refresh us a little bit?
Yeah, so we will issue warnings until the first significant snowfall, and we'll educate the public as much as we can through social media, and we'll be bringing it up at council meetings.
Okay.
The intent is not to try to make it.
Right. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Anything else, Gort?
Multiple things. I would like to propose a change of council time. We had a special meeting, for those of you that don't know, we had a special meeting last Tuesday, totally open to the public, but I really like getting business done early in the day, and then you have your day to do whatever it is you want to do. So I don't know if I'm gonna get any support from the other councilmen, but I'd like to see a January 1st change to 8 o'clock Tuesday mornings.